Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Eliza at ElizaJournals, and if you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing my first currently inked on my channel, and I know I had a lot of questions about inks. I get a lot of questions about inks that I'm using, so I just decided for the month of September I will be inking 30 inks. I'm really not doing like that 30 ink 30-day challenge, but I do want to utilize the inks that I already have that are samples, because what I don't want to happen is I don't want them to evaporate, because I've had some of them probably since January maybe, but I don't want them to evaporate just sitting on my shelf. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to utilize all the inks that I have that are samples. And what I mean by sample, if you're new to the fountain pen community, fountain pen ink, these are samples. They come in like little vial samples, and I'll share with you where I get those from. However, my goal between now and the end of the year, and pretty much like even the beginning of 2025, is to utilize all my samples before I start using my bottles. So today I'm going to be sampling 8 inks. Sorry you guys, so I am back. I actually had to get my fountain pens. I just noticed while I was video recording that I didn't even have my fountain pens laid out, so I really had to just stop the video and then get all the fountain pens that I already had inked. So let's get started. So the first color that we have is called Pelican Edelstein Topaz, and I absolutely have not used this color yet. I have swatched it, and I think it is a really pretty blue. And if you're wondering where I got this, let me see, maybe I don't have enough on there. So I'm pretty new at using this little, it's like a fountain pen nib, but as you can see, I might have to change. I actually, it's so crazy because my best friend bought me this fountain pen ink set, and I absolutely love it. And then I noticed that if you ever watch Karina Loves to Plan, she has like a speedball nib, and I absolutely love it. And it was so crazy because I had this box sitting up on my shelf, and I'm like, let me check those nibs and see if I actually have one that looks like that, because I would love to try to swatch inks with it. And behold, I had literally about 3 of these. I can actually link the description below, probably not to this exact one. If I can find it on Amazon, I will, but to the ones that are sold by Speedball. So that's just so weird that I actually had one of these. So I have my TWSBI Eco 580 inked with the Pelican Edelstein Topaz, and this is a 580 AL in blue ice, and I actually got this from Goulet Pens. So this is the TWSBI Diamond 580. In an extra fine nib. Okay. Oh, and totally forgot to write the name of the, so this is the Pelican Edelstein Topaz. So I'm literally getting into these blues lately. They're so pretty. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm really loving the blues. I don't know if it's just this time of the year, but I'm really loving these blues. Okay, so the next one that I want to show you all is the Sailor Monyo Ayame. I absolutely love this color because it has a dual shading color, so it's so pretty when you write with it. It's literally like a pink purplish sheen to it. It's so beautiful. And I literally had a sample of this, and I literally told myself that I just needed to buy a bottle of this ink. I don't know how Karina gets, okay, maybe I'm not putting enough ink, but I don't know how she gets enough ink on, because I even tried to use this in the back of my book, and y'all, I don't know if you're supposed to put saturated with ink, but that's just the only issue that I'm having with this. I don't really know if I'm dipping it far enough in there, but I'm dipping the whole nib in there, but that's not what we're talking about. So if you can already see the shading properties, they're so beautiful. So you can literally see, I'm gonna hold it up, you can literally see that purple, pinkish, green shading. I absolutely love this ink, and I actually found this in a 50 milliliter bottle, and I know I'll probably be using this for a long time. So I currently have my Pilot Vanishing Point or Pilot Capless. This is the Itoya edition, and I absolutely love this pen. This was actually my birthday pen to myself. So today is 9/3, so which is my birthday, and I had to ink this pen up with my birthday pen. So this is the Pilot and this is the Itoya edition or limited edition, and this is a fine nib. And I actually am going to use this is just a piece of cardstock, and I'm just using this as like my blotting paper so it doesn't go to the other side. Okay, so now I'm going to swatch the Sailor Shikiori Yodaki, which is one of my favorite reds. This is actually my favorite second red. I love it because it has like that dual shading property, so it's like from a light red to a dark red, or it starts dark to light. And this is actually my second favorite after the Robert Oster Red Candy, which I have not been able to find, because every time I find a bottle of it, when I go to check out, it's always sold out. Maybe I should have just used the maybe I just need to make sure. I guess I'll glob it. So I absolutely love this red. It's so pretty. It's like, it's so rich. Like, the red is so rich. And if you've ever seen Robert Oster's Red Candy, it definitely reminds me of that color, which is why I decided to just get the Sailor Shikiori Yodaki instead of the Robert Oster Red Candy, because everyone had the Sailor Shikiori Yodaki, so it just seemed like an easier color to get. Therefore, I just opted in for the Sailor ink. So I have that ink inked up in this Jinhao 35. This is a extra fine nib. And the Sailor and the Jinhao 35 and the Jinhao 80s, I just learned that you can actually change the nib for a Lamy nib. So I know I've been having some issues with my Jinhao 80, my black and gold one, with the start and stop. So it's like once you stop writing with it, it's like the ink dries. So I'm having a little bit of issue with this one as well. So hopefully I can get this one to write on camera. And I don't know, I think the tines are just a little bit too tight, so the ink flow is very like stop start. So the ink is a little bit hard to flow. Yeah, see. So usually when that happens, I really just go to like the back of the book and I just kind of like press down a little bit just to get the ink flowing. So this is a Jinhao 35. In a extra fine. Oh my gosh, this pen, this is literally like, I've only had 2 Jinhaos. Y'all, hold on for a second. Extra fine nib. Okay, so finally I got it to write. So this is, oh my gosh. This is the Sailor Shikiori Yodaki. So it's like once it starts writing, it's fine. But once you stop writing with this one, it just, so I'm really thinking about just changing this. I may just get rid of this pen altogether and just, I don't know, throw it in the trash or something. So I need to come back to this one because I actually forgot to write the color of the ink. So it's the Sailor Monyo Ayame. So there's that for that one. And I've only had 2 Jinhaos to actually have an issue with ink flow. Okay, so the next ink that I will be swatching is the Palette Iroshizuku Furugaki. And I absolutely love Pilot colors. Their colors are so beautiful. And I love this color because it really is between like a red and an orange. And I love colors that kind of resemble another color. So I love that you can actually use this color for orange or red because it would totally blend together. So, and I have that inked with a Lamy, just a regular Lamy. This is a fine nib in yellow. I try to match my inks as close as possible with the pen so that it can be easily identified, like I have this pen inked with this particular color. The only pen, or the only color pen I really don't have is purple. I don't have a purple at all. So this is Lamy. This is the yellow one. And this is a fine nib. And the color is Pilot. So, and if you can look at that, you can definitely see that when you write with it in the fountain pen, it does lean more to the orange side. But I do really love how it kind of mimics red, but it's also orange. So I absolutely love that color. And that's what made me actually get a sample of this color. Okay, so the next color is Colorverse Hayabusa Glistening. And I'm really not too fond of purple inks, but I decided to try this ink out because I do love purple. Let me get a glob. I do love purple, but I just know these aren't colors. Y'all gonna have to excuse me. This is my first time using this pen, this nib. But I do notice that I do love purple. I just don't find myself reaching for it as often. So, but it is a really pretty color. It is very vibrant. I have not seen any type of shading even when I did the swatch before. It's just pretty much a really pretty solid purple. And what I have inked with, I have it inked with this Conklin Durograph. And the nib on this is a fine nib. And the nib on this is an extra fine nib. So this is a Conklin. And I have to put which color because I have 3 of these that are a Conklin Durograph. But like I said, I try to match my inks with my pen so that it's easier to identify what color is in what pen. So this is an extra fine nib and it's Colorverse. Okay, so that's that color. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the Diamond Apple Glory. And if anyone knows me, knows that my favorite color is, hold on for a second, is green. I'm just trying to make sure this is rinsed off because I have like some water on the side. So my favorite color is green. I absolutely love green. So I've used some of this already, so I gotta really dip into it. And this color is so pretty. It definitely reminds me of Andorilium's Vizcaya Green and the Spirula Green. So, and I am an affiliate for Andorilium. So if you want to check out that ink, you can go to their website, link below in the description box, and save you 10% off any of their inks. So that's pretty much what made me get the Diamond Apple Glory. I really love to buy inks that are similar to just compare the color, because it really lets you know what inks you don't need to buy again or what inks you don't need to buy because they're similar. And that's just pretty much what I do. I might buy inks that look similar and see which pigment I like the best, which one is more vibrant, which one has more shading, or which one is just more solid. And then I just kind of make my choice of which one that I really love and just make a note of it. That's why it's so important also to have a swatch book. So I have this color inked in my Savannah Green Lamy, and this is a fine nib. And I know y'all, I'm busting out the Lamies because I absolutely love Lamies. They work extremely well in my Habino. I noticed that as the Habino gets chunky, my finer nibs are more scratchy. They initially were not scratchy at first, but because I'm getting towards the end of the book, it's like it's harder for the extra fine nib to really write, if that makes any sense, because the book is getting chunky and it's just so many things in it. So my Lamies and my Twisbys still write amazing. It still writes really smooth. So I've been reaching for my Lamies more than any of my fountain pens. Okay, so this is Lamy Savannah green in a fine nib. And most of my Lamies are fine nibs. I noticed that fine nibs for Lamy are less scratchier than extra fines. And this is the Diamine Apple Glory. So this color is so pretty. I cannot wait to use this. So I'm actually going to try to turn the page, and that's why I have this as well. So I'm actually going to try to let this Diamond Apple Glory dry, and then I'm going to come back and swatch the last 2 inks for the week. Okay, so now we're going to do the, so as you can see, it did do a little bleed through with the last ink and the Pilot Iroshizuku, but that's fine because nothing is going on the back anyway. And if you're wondering, I'm actually using a Tomo River paper. It's 52 GSM, and this notebook is actually from Planner Monkey Co. So I'm going to put this back behind here. Okay, so the last 2. So we're going to swatch Ferris Wheel Press, Sugar, and Spice. And when I got this sample, I was like, oh my gosh, I really love this. It does have some shimmer in the bottom, and Ferris Wheel Press are really known for their shimmer inks. However, the shimmer inks can be a hit or miss because sometimes what ends up happening is that it's way too much shimmer, more than there is really the solution, and it's pretty much like it gets like stuck in the barrel of the fountain pen. Sorry, had a moment where I had to get my thoughts together. So sometimes the shimmer is just not equal parts to the solution, and it gets stuck in the barrel of the pen. And I've had that happen with some other colors, which I had to just say, okay, I'm not even going to use this particular ink in this particular pen because it doesn't work well. And I know that some of the Ferris Wheel Press inks do not work well in extra fine pens. You can barely see the shimmer. So I'm actually going to hold this up to the light to see if you, oh my gosh, y'all, this color is so beautiful. I don't know if y'all can see that shimmer. And I'm trying to do better at recording these videos during the day so that I have natural light on my desk and my desk doesn't look so dark. But I absolutely love it, and I hope you can see that shimmer. Hopefully when that dries, you can see that shimmer a lot better. So I have this TWSBI Eco Rose Gold in an extra fine nib, inked with that color. And it looks, look at that. Look how that looks in this barrel. It's so pretty. That's why I really love TWSBIs. I think I just love the fact that it's a demonstrator and you can actually see the ink through the pen. So that's what makes me love TWSBIs. So this is a TWSBI Eco Rose Gold, and I'm just going to just put white. And all my TWSBIs are extra fine. I do not have any fine TWSBIs because the nibs write pretty much like a medium. So if you're into like needlepoint nibs, I just would suggest getting a Japanese pen. But I love TWSBIs, and you can also get your nibs customized. You can get them grinded to however you want. So if you have like an extra fine and you want a needle point, you can go up to a needle point, but you can never go from an extra fine to a medium. You just have to buy like a whole nother pen if you want to go up in size, or go down in size rather. So this is Ferris Wheel Press. Sugar and Spice. Yep. So this is an absolutely beautiful color. And sorry if y'all see so much ink on my hands. This comes from inking my pens without gloves on, and this time I didn't use a syringe, so it was literally all over my hand before the video. Okay, so the last ink I'm going to swatch is the Platinum Lavender Black. I have never used this color before. I've only swatched it, so I'm really excited to try this color. And it's so weird how they name colors black even though it has a color. That's always so weird to me, but if you really look at it, it is dark. So I can see why they named it Platinum Black, because it is a dark color. It could be black, but I can definitely see why they name these colors the way that they do, especially if they are dark colors. So it's a pretty dark color. I want to get a little bit more on there just to see. So it's definitely a little dark. It kind of reminds me of Andorilium's Pompadour Cotinga Burgundy. So I actually have this color inked in a Jinhao 100. I absolutely love Jinhao 100s. This is a Jinhao 100 demonstrator, and I have this link below in my Amazon storefront if you want to check that out, which is no extra cost to you, but just a little commission for me if you want to purchase it. And I love Jinhaos because they are very inexpensive. They're great starter pens, and the Jinhao 100s really are the best models, hands down. They are very comparable to your TWSBI, your Lamy, pretty much your $30 price range pens. So if anyone asks me like what type of beginner pen would you recommend, it would be a Lamy, a TWSBI, and a Jinhao 100. Okay, so this is a Jinhao 100, and this is a clear demonstrator, and this is an extra fine. So now the extra fines in the Jinhaos operate a little bit differently. They are pretty much comparable to a TWSBI extra fine. Like the TWSBI extra fines are a little bit thick depending on the model. The TWSBI Diamond 580s write a little bit finer than like your standard TWSBI Ecos. So this is Platinum Lavender Black. So I can definitely see why it's named Platinum Lavender Black, because it does have some black properties in there. You can actually see that while it's drying, because you can see like the darker spots. So that's why I wanted to add a little bit more color so that you can actually see like the darker properties that the ink has. So I'm actually going to let this dry, and then we'll just review all the inks that we swatched today. Okay, so I think it's all dry now. So I just went ahead and flipped the page so that we can review what we swatched. So today we swatched the Pelican Edelstein Topaz, which is a very beautiful teal or blue or turquoise. Sometimes I even get confused if it's teal, turquoise. I guess teal is more of like a green blue, and turquoise, it's more of like a blue, probably with some white added. But it's a very vibrant blue, which I really love. It doesn't really have that much shading in it at all. It's pretty much just a solid color. And then we have the Sailor Munyo Ayame, which has that dual shading property, so you can really see the green sheen, and you can actually see the pinkish purple chroma shading properties in it, which that's just why I love Sailor inks, hands down. The colors are so very beautiful. They're muted, and when it touches that paper, it automatically changes colors. So you can actually just see over here where I wrote it, it actually comes out a little bit different when you use fountain pens. But if you use like a thicker nib, maybe like a medium nib or a medium fine nib, you can actually see the properties a lot better. And then we are at Sailor Shikiori Yodaki, which I absolutely love this red. And I love this red because it does have a green sheen to it, so you can kind of see around the edges where it dries with like this green sheen. So it also has that dual shading property from light to dark or from dark to light. So I really love how it pulls. And then you have the Pale Iroshozuku Furu Gaki, and it is between a orange and a red, and I love it because if you have an orange spread or you have a red spread, it has the ability to blend in between. So it's kind of like it could be orange, but it could be red. But I absolutely love this color. And if you look at this one, between this one, you can definitely tell it has more orange properties. So then the Colorverse Hayabusa Glistening is such a pretty purple. You can actually see a little bit of shimmer. It's not very much, but you can really see like the glistening. Basically, you can see some of it in there, but you have to hold it up very close to actually see it, but you really won't see it. And I wish I can get in close. There is some sheen, but I really can't tell, to be honest. I really can't tell what color the sheen is in this color. I can see it around the edges, but I really don't know. But it may just be like a dual shading sheen. Okay, so next you have the Diamond Apple Glory, which is just a pretty green, period. I love green. It doesn't even matter what color the green is. I absolutely love it. This is pretty much just a solid color, and I absolutely love it. It does have a little bit of dual shading, so it has some light and dark spots in it as well. And we have the Ferris Wheel Press Sugar and Spice, which has that shimmer in it. And like I said before, Ferris Wheel Press are just known for their shimmer inks, and they did a really great job with this ink because it's not dramatic. Because sometimes their shimmer is way too dramatic, and it's more sheen in it than it is solution. So I really love that you have equal parts. It's such a beautiful color. Then we have the Platinum Lavender Black, which you can definitely see the darker properties, which is why they probably call it Platinum Lavender Black. But it is a really pretty color, and I love that it is really between like a purple and burgundy, but it's such a pretty color. So I think I'm going to enjoy using all of these colors this month. And to be honest, I may come back to add a couple colors throughout the month. So if I do come back to add a couple colors throughout the month, you can probably reach me over on my Instagram for just swatches of those. I probably won't do a whole video, but I might do some reels of some ink of the weeks, things like that. But anyway, so just let me know how you like the video. If you reach the end, put a heart in the comments. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to my channel. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.